far is Camp Crystal Lake from here?
They actually just misheard her. They're not sure if she's talking about Camp Crystal Lake, the Pet Cemetery, or the moors. At least they're being subtle about it.
You're going to Camp Blood, ain't you? God damn it, Ralph, get out of here. Go on, get.
Angela's a boy!
It's got a death curse.
He's off to go tell the same thing to Alfred Packer. This isn't the first time shady shit has happened around the camp.
Did Christy tell you about the 2 kids murdered in 58? Huh? Boy drowning in 57? A bunch of fires? Nobody knows who did any of them.
Looks like he's trying to tell Sarah Gilbert to quit before they win the lottery.
Quit. Quit now.
Quit? Why would I want to quit?
They've already net grafted me with a special effect. Well, you're gonna end up here anyway, so might as well drop you off at the cemetery to save you a trip and all. Hey, that sign doesn't say Camp Blood. Those town folk are full of shit.
You kids keep your noses clean, understand? We ain't gonna stand for no weirdness out here.
Sorry. Thought there was an exit there. Sorry, just let me back it on up and get out of here. And way to lie to the cops. They had multiple pot all along.
Messenger of God.
Well, now how in the hell long was he in there? If no one opened that door, was he planning on staying in there all night? Well, at least he picked the room with the food in it so he wouldn't starve to death.
This place is cursed. Cursed.
We've had people call this place doomed, cursed, Camp Blood. You know, if it were me, I'd still stay. At least I'd know I'd get laid first.
It's not bad enough to have Friday the 13th. We've got to have a full moon, too. We keep statistics. We have more accidents, more rapes, more robberies, more homicides, more of everything when there's a full moon.
Okay, that doesn't sound like it's the full moon's fault. That just sounds like you have a really shitty police force. And then no more sequels were made. I would call the police, but just so tired, so sleepy. Rest is the most important part of the evening. I'm slightly confused. Is this still Friday the 13th? Because the music is telling me that something depressing is happening in Twin Peaks. Scary. That's actually completely unrelated. They pumped so much chemicals into that lake that kid was only halfway through turning into the world's first superhero from New Jersey.
Ma'am, we didn't find any boy.
Then he's still there.
Not necessarily. He's probably off aging 20 years before his appearance in the next movie. This scene is interesting because it implies that Jason learned the name of the woman who killed his mom and tracked her down in a completely different city, proving that even Jason Voorhees occasionally needs help from the white pages. So Jason carried his mom's head from Crystal Lake to Alice's apartment? Well, granted, if I saw someone resembling Jason Voorhees carrying a severed head down the street, I would not fuck with that guy. Hey, look who's back!
They didn't believe me. You're all doomed. You're all doomed.
Well, maybe if you didn't take a shit in the pantry like last time, they'd start believing you. Or if you just put it like this, hey, anytime someone shows up at this location, they're brutally murdered. Here's some newspaper clippings to support that, okay? Alright, you know, like a normal person. Of course, this time around, with Pamela Voorhees dead, he mainly just warns people about unwanted towing.
Welcome to God's country.
Asshole. Everyone is here as part of a camp counselor training program, which, considering it's already summer, they'll be ready just in time for Halloween!
Being a counselor isn't the gravy summer job everybody thinks it is.
The truth is that half of you will end up with poison ivy or murdered. Uh-oh, turns out the killer is... Henry Fonda? Well, that's what you get for not taking your own damn advice. A couple of the kids decide to go off and visit Camp Blood, which apparently shit out a dead dog, but oh, Sheriff Pusser, you hound!
You're not even gonna reprimand him? No punishment?
Hey, come on, we bumped off Crazy Ralph with barbed wire. He won't be bothering anyone else again. What more do you want from us? Maybe those kids are right. If I sneak into Camp Blood, maybe I too could get some serious underage poon. Ugh, this Camp Crystal Lake is a mess. Someone should really buy it and spend a week fixing up the place. What's the worst that could happen? It's nice that in 5 years someone came along and made it look even shittier than it did in the first film. That's okay. I know what he was looking at.
What if there is a Jason?
Oh, bullshit.
And he must be out there right now, crying for a return.
Jason's a legend, Jim.
Honestly, it wouldn't be that hard to believe that Jason is still alive. Hell, I've already seen him kill 4 people. Best get rid of these bodies quick. Mom and Dad are home.
These kids smoke better dope than I do.
Priorities, Paul. Seriously, don't worry about Jason. If he gets injured, they'll just rush him to the hospital. He'll be fine. What happened to Jason, you may ask? Oh, wrong question, my friend.
Paul? Paul? Where's Paul?
Lady, if you want to know where Paul is, ask a couple of fans of the series. They'll debate it for hours. A big mystery of Part 2 is whether or not Paul survives. And if you listen to the newscaster here talk about how many bodies were found, you should be able to find your answer. Problem is, I don't really care. If she looks confused, it's because she's wondering why they're still letting folks camp in an area where nearly a dozen people were just murdered.
Hey, kiddo, don't let your imagination run away with you.
It's not your imagination. This campground is a slaughterhouse. And since they killed off Crazy Ralph in the last film, they need some other drunken wacko to warn them away. Sure, if this guy talked to them without being a lunatic, that might help. But since the fucking meat wagon didn't give them the hint to stay away, I don't think anything this guy does would have helped. And now we have another person to take advantage of someone's blind spots. Oh, you scared me, dad boyfriend.
Did I do something wrong?
Either than the play rape, you mean?
What's wrong? It's that creep Shelley. What a sick sense of humor.
Why even invite Shelley if you're gonna be pissed at him for, again, being classic Shelley?
Relax. Enjoy the weekend. Nothing's gonna happen to you when we're all here together.
Tell that to the people in the morgue. Boy, is Rick gonna be mad about his car.
That's it. I've had it. I thought it would be a good idea for us to spend some time together, but this is a little more than I bargained for.
You know, it could be worse, Rick. You could be one of the several people killed last night. Ah, so romantic, right next to the sewage drain out.
You know, I don't think I could live anywhere else. The nights are always so peaceful and quiet here.
Except, you know, when something like this happens. Chris, meanwhile, relays the story to Rick about why she's been so edgy, which has to do with a run-in that she had with Jason years prior. Over the years, we've seen Jason be short, tall, a child, a subhumanoid, but in this one, he's just a flat-out rapist. Seriously, movie, you're getting your Mother's Day into my Friday the 13th. And I bet this makes Rick feel like an asshole for doing this earlier. And if this happened 2 years ago, then I guess this look for Jason was just a quick phase. Chris seems to be okay now, but surely that strange man has nothing to do with the murderous, deformed lunatic the cops are looking for. Hey, I was wrong. Yellow bandana means he's hung like a tree. Just think, right now Amy Steele is resting comfortably in a hospital bed, thanking God she's not going through this shit again. You gotta give it to this Jason death. Future movies may have retconned Jason's height, clothing, backstory, and powers, but they all managed to remember to put an axe mark in his mask. You'd think Chris would find a way to the police, but nope, she sleeps in a canoe for no other reason than Alice did it in the first movie. Although Alice didn't daydream that Pluto from Hills Have Eyes was chasing her, and this is slightly different. Shelley, I swear, if this is another one of your tricks, I take it this is a dream because it's never addressed in the other sequels, and how did she get her head back? Plus, how would Chris even know what Jason's mom looks like? She doesn't even know Jason's name. Are the police gonna answer this for me?
Looks like she's the only one left alive.
Damn, Jim, maybe we should have blocked this area off until we found the killer. No matter, Jason had better wake up soon because tomorrow Crispin Glover and Lawrence Monason will be in town for a wicked house party. I suppose they pulled out all the stops for this one. Look, they got a helicopter in it. That body there looks a little frumpy. Must be the Shelley cameo. Here, put this in the evidence bag. We don't want to get any fingerprints on it. Oh shit, where's our gloves? Why does everyone seem so nonchalant about this massacre?
Yeah, they're all dead. You can pull it up over there.
All dead. Some emergency. Put her over there.
That's right. If there are no survivors, then that means that an obvious mass murder spree is a non-emergency. Also, there was a survivor. And seeing how parts 2 through 4 of this series all take place within the same week, you've had about 20 dead bodies just this weekend alone. Oh no, last time I saw someone put food on top of a body at a morgue, this happened. Don't worry, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is a lot more respectful to Jason Voorhees than Wired was to John Belushi. And why is everyone in this town horny?
Meet me in the cold room. I'm closing up for the night. What do you say?
I say, when did I accidentally put in Halloween 2? Too bad the only place to watch the news is in a room with a corpse and a morgue attendant who wants to fuck you.
Man responsible for the murders in Wessex County this past week is at this moment in the Wessex County Medical Center morgue.
Yeah.
Thank you, officer.
Yeah, you know the odds are pretty good that you know someone who was murdered. Face it, dude, no way she is gonna bang you.
I don't believe you, Axel.
Getting their first good night's sleep in a very long time. Local law enforcement.
What? This movie teaches another worldview that morgue sex is A, a thing, and B, hot.
Jesus Christmas! Holy Jesus goddamn! Holy Jesus jumping Christmas shit!
Great. Now I'm watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Sorry, dude, you're gonna have to have sex with one of the corpses now.
Real cute girl.
Was.
Well, she still is.
Ugh, now I am worried he's gonna fuck a corpse. Thank God aerobics porn is on to distract him.
Hi, girls. Thanks for waiting.
You wanna know how fucked up the 80s were? That's Nickelodeon that he's watching. Come here, motherfucker, this is for your World's End review! And as for her, clearly she's screaming because Jason's nails have magically grown an inch longer since the last film. Meanwhile, what the fuck are people doing still living here?
Talk to Dad. How is he? Oh, he said he was lonely. He asked me to come out and see him.
Probably because he's worried about her. Every other person in this town is dead! I'm starting to wonder if anyone here even knows about the killings.
Someone left the front door open.
We're in the country.
Well, what happens if the psycho wanders in?
I don't know, just ask some of your friends what happens when a psycho wanders into your house. Oh wait, you can't, 'cause they're dead. People are still going on vacation? I mean, sure, some probably thought that Jason was dead, but 2 hospital employees were murdered and Jason's body is missing. Apparently, it was really fucking easy for him to sneak out of the hospital without anyone noticing. At least one girl is smart enough to get out of this town, and she's taking all of the bananas with her. Well, at least Jason was nice enough to then drop her body off in Canada like she asked. Oh, hey, a story about Jason's body missing. What else is in the news? See, nothing but women getting stuck. Except when it cuts away from it. These 2 jackasses probably wouldn't even notice their mom is dead until a week later. All it took was for the lights to go out for them to realize that something is fucked up in their town. Look, Tommy, remember when Dad was asking us to go out of town and come visit him? Maybe we should take him up on that. I don't know why we're cutting to a clip of Jesse Spano preparing to go to prom with Slater, but whatever. Let's go back to these 2 responsible wonderkins.
I'm going out on the path.
Me too.
No, you stay here in case she comes back.
I'll go.
Stay here and fix the lights.
You're around 10 years old, Tommy. You're old enough to be alone in the house with a killer on the loose. Meanwhile, I'm gonna hang out in a stranger's tent until he makes me shit my pants with a machete. Until we get context for said machete. Turns out Rob is in Crystal Lake to avenge the death of his sister Sandra from Part 2. Given that this movie only takes place a few days after that, you'd think Rob would want to be at her funeral, but given how she died, I think there will probably be 2 caskets. One for her and one for her boyfriend who stuck to her.
But the man that killed your sister is dead.
Thank you for acknowledging that you know that there's a killer in your town who has killed half of the population. Then we get to the third act of the film, which is basically, let's just scare the shit out of Corey Feldman. I know that I had a key, but we thought it would be much funnier to smash the window. Now maybe they won't just keep the kid at home by himself.
Tommy, you stay here, okay? And lock the door.
You mean the door that you just punched through? Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine. Look at this idiot. Why does he need to look at newspaper clippings, most of which are probably only a day old and are from articles in his own hometown that he should have already seen? At this point, Jason appears to have been busy re-murdering already dead bodies. But with a hard-ass hiker hell-bent on revenge, Jason has finally met his match. Well, good one. Now your parents have to bury 2 of their children. So given that this was supposedly the final chapter, how is Jason killed off? Gross, but that's what kills him? A machete to the head? Actually, no, because he's still moving, prompting Feldman to just hit him repeatedly with a machete. Shut the fuck up. You want this fucker dead or don't you? Seeing how Ted White also played a baddie at the beginning of Romancing the Stone, I think I know what's going through Tommy's head right now.
That was the end of Grogan, the man who killed my father, raped and murdered my sister, burned my ranch, shot my dog, and stole my Bible.
But still, this is what kills him? In the span of a week, he's had an axe in his head, his shoulders separated, his hand mangled, hell, he's even been hung, and yet he's still capable of chucking bodies through windows. I think he can handle another skull wound and a hazing routine with a machete. My ass, it's a new beginning. A new beginning of what? A solo film that was forgotten by every Friday film following it? Jason Voorhees has led a tough life. He's like the Johnny Cash of slasher killers. He's had some tough times. But even with his haunted childhood, his years spent growing up as a recluse deep in the forest, he's always stuck by his machete and provided us with a silver platter of human body parts. At least when he's not being hassled by the MPAA, who turn out to be even bigger bullies than the fucking kids who probably did pick on him at the summer camp. Part 5 takes place several years after the events in Part 4. That film's survivor, Tommy Jarvis, has spent many years in a mental institution and is now being shipped off to a halfway house in the middle of the woods run by the guy who gave Indiana Jones his hat. Yeah, there you go. Just send the quiet guy, haunted by memories of a deranged killer murdering his family in the woods, back to the woods, and to the same fucking woods. Oh gee, I wonder who the killer is. There's also some other characters, including these two, a redneck Rhea Perlman and her yokel son.
Say it like you mean it, Ma. Would you shut the fuck up?
If you're gonna live in murder capital USA, you might as well be a dumb fucking redneck.
You big dildo. Eat your fucking slot.
They might as well hang a sign over them that says, "Oh, we are so dead." In case you didn't realize it, the fat kid killed at the beginning is the son of the paramedic. So that guy gets his revenge by killing every fucking thing that moves.
Jason Voorhees is dead. His body was cremated. He's nothing but a handful of ash.
Cremated? So is that why he's just a pile of ash in the next several movies? And don't give me that shit about how they just wanted to secretly bury Jason without anybody knowing about it. In the next film, his fucking grave is marked. Maybe this whole Part 5 thing is just a bad dream by Tommy Jarvis. No wonder he seems so adamant to kill Jason in Part 6. I'd want to take a couple more whacks at the corpse too if I kept having recurring dreams of phony Jason movies. At the end of the movie, the cop is going through several different newspaper clippings and showing them to the survivor, letting her in on Roy's backstory. And the newspaper clippings all have to do with Jason Voorhees. My question is, who the fuck took that picture? What poor unfortunate soul lost their life so that the local Crystal Lake Gazette could have the clearest front page picture of Jason fucking Voorhees?
I don't know how you talked me into this, Tommy. Hell, I must be crazy.
I know that when I go to take down a supposedly dead serial killer, the first person I'm gonna take with me is Ron Horshack Palillo. Tom Matthews takes over the role of Tommy Jarvis, and he's wearing a fantastic Emilio Estevez disguise. His plan is to dig Jason up and then kill him again, which ignores Part 5 when they said that he was cremated. Well, everyone else ignores Part 5. They find the grave, but with no date of birth or death, this could be any Jason Voorhees. Leave it to Horshack to be the smartest character in the entire series. You should listen to him.
There's his grave. Okay, let's go.
I too feel disturbed when I'm reminded of certain Corey Feldman movies. That also reminds me, whatever happened to Tommy Jarvis's sister? Tommy has been disturbed for years, but his sister is apparently okay with what happened in the past. And there goes the only character who called out the lead's bullshit, and he also tried doing something about it. Tommy attempts to warn the most trigger-happy police in the state.
You better cool out, boy. You already almost got your head blown off.
Will you listen, damn it?
Don't piss me off, Junior, or I will repaint this office with your brains.
That would be murder. The sheriff puts him in jail, mainly because the murders that are about to follow are all his fault, but also for being in Midnight Cabaret. Maybe the fact that they renamed Crystal Lake Forest Green will confuse Jason.
That's why we changed the name. People want to forget this was Crystal Lake, and they don't need some kid stirring up Jason shit again.
Yeah, but they're not likely to forget that half of their residents have been butchered. Batitude. Someone needs to stop Jason. Too bad I'm in jail. The sheriff's daughter and her friends are there to run a summer camp, but Tommy warns them about Jason. Whatever, he's hot. The cops aren't doing shit, but you know who would do something about this? Sheriff Horshack. Too bad no one is interested in resurrecting his corpse. They just bury his ass instead.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
The sheriff escorts Tommy out of town before Brian Dennehy and his deputies get a hold of him, but Tommy has a better idea, to show them the grave himself. Unfortunately, the grave has been filled in, which, what the hell?
He made my deputy draw his revolver. He's been dying to try out his mail-order laser scope.
This town needs Jason because without him, they're incredibly murder-happy. Jason is making a huge mistake. If he kills off the old man, who's gonna bury the rest of the sweat hogs? Oh, this sounds like something I'd investigate.
Oh shit, this isn't what it looks like.
What are we gonna do?
We gotta get to the sheriff's office.
Don't bother. If Jason didn't kill you, the sheriff's deputy would murder you with a laser scope gun.
Sheriff's office? Oh, I'm sorry. He can't come to the phone right now. He's in the can draining his lizard. May I take a message?
Yes, help me. My family is being tortured. Tommy buys himself a bunch of books on how to defeat Jason. Fantastic. So while you're reading all of that, Jason has murdered like 20 people. And at least 10 instances of slapstick have happened.
Sheriff's office. I'm sorry he's not in. Can I take a message?
Yes, my family is still being tortured. It's been years, but Jason has finally returned to summer camp. Unfortunately, he has none of these traits, so he is definitely not going home with a badge. Sheriff Dunstcap actually believes that Tommy Jarvis is the murderer behind this. Someone is clinging a little too hard to the ending of Part 5. Not even Deputy Burt Reynolds can talk him out of this theory. They end up finding poor Woody Allen's body parts, so now they have another suspect on their list, Mia Farrow. Oh, and title drop!
Happy Friday the 13th.
The bandit takes a break from masquerading as Buford T. Justice to pull over these speeders, although this speeding sign raises more questions than it answers. Thankfully, the movie hasn't sunk as low as crotch jokes.
This is gonna be a hairy turn. Hang on.
Ugh, the movie's dignity has now been stripped, you bunch of fart heads. Good one, Tommy. Now you've really given the sheriff a reason to shoot you. I feel like a more appropriate subtitle than Jason Lives is Good One, Tommy. Oh boy, the ghosts are really coming up with more elaborate and bloody ways of taunting Carol Ann. Is she gonna fill the annoying kid quota for the film?
Sissy and Court are playing jokes. You know, trying to scare each other.
Why?
Then you can go to bed.
Wait, what if they try to scare us?
I can't imagine why your parents would want to dump you in the woods for a whole summer. At least they're not blaming Tommy.
You just sit tight, Jason.
Tommy Jarvis never played Jason, but he did play Freddy in Return of the Living Dead. The sheriff gets a call from Batman telling him that he's an idiot for thinking Tommy is the killer. Meanwhile, I think Jason wants a gander at this girl's rather amazing eyes. Oh, and he also wants to kill her. Tommy and Megan come up with a plan to escape, which involves borrowing the Terminator's gun for a second.
You better do as she says, because wherever the red dot goes, you bang.
That's also what a porn director says when he directs with a laser pointer. It seems like they're mainly locking up the deputy for his condescending attitude.
I'll get it for you, babe. Really screwing up here, Missy.
This guy is gonna feel right at home when he discovers he can make internet comments. Without Horseshack, I don't know how Tommy is gonna do this.
The only way now to stop Jason is to return him to his original resting place, where he drowned in 1957.
Or to have just not dug him up in the first place. That one is still on you, buddy. Unfortunately, officers Hooper and Jan Michael Vincent are a little too late. Well, looks like one of the campers has reached adulthood. Something is definitely wrong here. The lights are freaking out. Hey! Now how am I supposed to know what happened unless it's in 3D? Don't worry, they've still got Gator to protect them. Stroker Ace just crashed and burned. The sheriff finally has a good idea. He's gonna surround himself with children to keep from getting killed, just like Indiana Jones. But his vengeful side kicks in as he shoots Jason for hypnotizing Tommy into killing all of those people. Tommy could help the sheriff, but lack of snow isn't gonna stop him from making a snowman. I'm sure the sheriff can handle this. At least Megan still has one parent left.
If your mother were still alive.
That's it. Out.
Oh, Well, somehow that's probably also Tommy's fault. This isn't so bad. Tommy's just been wanting to fit him for a necktie this entire time. Surprisingly, this plan actually works, and it'll keep trespassers from swimming, because there's always gonna be something that's gonna try to pull you under the water. Unless you recreate the ending of I Spit on Your Grave. Apparently Jason's veins are pumped with hot garbage. Wait until the second day of camp, kids. That's when some cannibals are gonna hang a woman by her breasts. So, anyone gonna tell her that her dad is dead?
It's over. It's finally over.
Part 7 is for some reason your first entry into the series, the opening has you covered.
There's a legend round here. A killer buried, but not dead.
Holy shit, it's Crazy Ralph! He's back from the dead! And why is Jason still a legend? He's killed like half the population of New Jersey at this point! So, Jason is still underwater, and in all this time, no one strapped a fucking bomb to him? Did Tommy not tell anyone he was down there? But before Tina can grow into her Carrie White-like abilities, she needs to finish off her role as Carol Ann from Poltergeist. Tina's father is rather abusive, and she handles an abusive parent like any child would. By turning the deck into a Universal Studios theme park ride. That killed a guy. It's years later, and by the ridiculous timeline in these movies, that would put this around the year 2000. Oh yeah, I totally believe that, and that this isn't 1988.
I don't think this is such a good idea.
Finally, someone acknowledges that they really shouldn't be going to Murder Forest. For luck, Tina keeps a picture of Starman on her wall, and while Starman may have brought back Jenny Hayden, Tina is not quite as smart with her powers. That's not her dad. And why the hell would her dad's body still be in the lake anyway? A good sign that Jason is back is that someone's car broke down. The Jason sense is very bad on the car engine. These two are on their way to Party Cabin for the guy's surprise birthday party. Ooh, spoiler.
What are you talking about?
This is supposed to be a surprise party for your birthday. Everybody's waiting for us to show up. I got this great cabin and everything.
For his birthday, you got him murder. You're a terrible girlfriend. I see they changed the name back to Crystal Lake from Forest Green. Might as well. It's still the murder capital of the world regardless, as these two are about to find out. Did he stab her in the ass? Be more specific. Oh my god, did she set up one of those murder mystery parties for my birthday? She's the greatest! And I get to be the murder victim! Oh, so much fun! Oh, and Tina can see murders now. So it's Jason versus Carrie versus Halloween 5. I'm guessing the treatment isn't working.
Mom, I saw him again.
Oh, what?
The man thing in the lake, I saw him again. He was killing a boy with a metal spike.
Hey, relax. What do you mean you saw it?
It was Jason Voorhees. How do people still not know who he is? And is no one concerned that the birthday boy didn't show up?
You know Michael. He probably got pulled over for drunk driving and spent the night in jail.
Your friend appears to have a drinking problem. You should really get his dead body some help.
Wow.
Excellent Joe Chill impression. I'm starting to think that Tina coming back to this house was a very stupid idea.
Look what you're doing to us!
Because now they need a new TV set. How are they gonna watch Friends reruns? It might be the episode Dr. Wesley is on. You're right, Doctor. This is a nice night for a walk through the middle of the woods. That's probably just some leftover Halloween decorations. Tina's mom finds out the truth about Cruz. He likes collecting clamshell VHS tapes.
The Anderson case in 65. The documentation here is much greater. By keeping Tina's trauma and stress levels high, I am confident I can induce huge psychokinetic reactions.
I don't know that shot on Shitty-O Movie. Is it the missing segment from Tales from the Quadead Zone? I don't think I trust this Cruz guy. And still, no one has cleaned up this Halloween decoration.
Michael?
This is no time for an I told you so. And why the fuck does Dr. Cruz just have Jason Voorhees clippings laying around?
It was him in the lake.
What are you talking about?
Do you ever watch the fucking news? Oh boy, it's time for that knuckle to telekinetic knuckle Jason versus Carrie throwdown that we've been waiting for. Or it could be that they're simply in the woods from the Evil Dead. Clearly, she didn't read the part in the newspaper clippings where electricity only makes him stronger. They have to duck and cover from the movie's budget happening on screen. Don't know how this movie can top blowing him the fuck up.
Let's get out of here.
I would ask how the fuck did they not see him coming, but the most ridiculous thing in the movie is about to happen right now. What? She could bring people back from the dead? And why was his body still down there? What is with Crystal Lake and not cleaning the bodies out of the water? Is this foreshadowing? Is he gonna be fighting Batman along the way? What? It makes sense. Their origins both involve dead mothers.
This request has gone all the way out to Crystal Lake in the senior class at Lakeview High.
That's us.
All right.
And we wish them the best of luck and success when they come to visit our seductive city.
I remember when I was in New York City and I heard the DJ congratulating a New Jersey small town's graduation trip to New York. Oh wait, no I don't. I was probably drunk. But before we get to the sex, how about some dirty talk?
Come on, Jimmy. Something's bothering you.
Just that we're right around that summer camp where all those murders took place.
Oh, you mean the camp that's a stone's throw away from your houseboat and looks up and running? He's giving us the backstory on Jason, but he's telling it wrong. Why does the kid Jason have hair? And his girlfriend is the only one in Crystal Lake who seems unaware about the mass murderer who butchered half the town over a period of a decade. Oh, wait, according to the timeline, this should be taking place somewhere between about 1999 and 2002. He's been murdering people for decades! In case you forget, when we last saw Jason, he faced off against Carrie White, who resurrected her dead father to pull Jason under the docks. Wait, what? Why don't we keep her around? She can raise the dead. It won't matter if Jason kills anyone. Tina can make him rise back up out of the lake. But it's not too early in the movie for a good fake-out jump scare.
Got you good, Susie.
Psych, I didn't really kill you. Will you have sex with me now? Jason's mask was destroyed in part 7, so why is Crystal Lake selling commemorative Jason masks complete with the axe mark from part 3? And why does this guy have both a hockey mask and a harpoon gun on the boat? Is this guy secretly a Jason wannabe, like the paramedic from part 5? Jason looks confused as to why a whaling ship appears to be being used as a cruise ship, and why Crystal Lake is apparently big enough to sail to New York City. That's the real twist. Crystal Lake is the Atlantic Ocean. Don't worry, they took along a crazy old man to tell them that they're doomed.
This voyage is doomed.
Between this guy, Crazy Ralph, and Eyeball Guy from Part 3, maybe people would actually listen to you old coots if you stopped being so weird. And what's these people's deal? They all seem troubled.
Ernie, you're making a big mistake. It's not too late to put you back on shore.
Then again, I wouldn't be able to look at your soft, succulent lips. What the fuck, Uncle Touchy?
Nighttime is the right time.
You're on your way to New York. Why would you want to fill up on appetizers? Room for one more, ladies?
Are you girls using drugs?
You know we don't allow Mountain Dew and Starburst on this ship. Ooh, they're in so much trouble.
I'll be coming around to your stateroom in exactly 15 minutes, Miss Mason, so you better have your biology project ready or I'll be phoning your parents.
Haven't they already graduated? Isn't that what this whole cruise is about? Reddy may be drowning, but it's good that the ship came to an immediate and complete stop. This is what happens when you apparently only have 2 adult chaperones.
You've done a wonderful job of supervising the kids. What the hell happened here?
It wasn't her fault.
Give me those towels.
I'm the only one who brings her towels on this ship. And have they been reminded of their imminent doom yet?
He's come back. And you're all gonna die.
You're on this ship too, idiot! But enough about that. How about that biology report?
Wouldn't you like a glass of champagne first, drop?
17, my ass! I'm watching this scene for a biology report, goddammit!
Hey!
Would it be worth it to lose my teaching career? Is teaching really that important?
Now you stop that. I mean, really?
Slim Goodbody never gave me this kind of erection before. This is only Charles King for about 10 seconds.
Now you've gone and done it. Not only are you going home, but I will see to it personally that you spend next year back in a high school classroom.
That way we'll have plenty more opportunities to bang. By God, I think that's Freddy Krueger out there. Nope, Jack Torrance. It's just Jason on another one of his coke freakouts. So is nighttime still the right time? He may be doing the captain a favor, though. The SS Irwin Allen was about to tip over upside down. Good thing Sean's last talk with his dad was positive.
Oh, Jesus.
Bet you wish you knew to blow the horn now, huh, ass? Let's talk about the real victims here, though.
I demand to know what is going on.
Sean, you interrupted me masturbating to Tamara's half-naked body. I'm sorry about your father, though. Well, if only they were warned about this.
You're all gonna die. You're the last ones. He's come back for you.
Last ones? Really? So the only teenagers left in Crystal Lake are the seniors graduating from the high school? I doubt that. Miss Van Dusen makes sure the nameless extras are safe. Ugh, they don't even have dialogue. Pass. Perhaps something can be solved in the engine room.
Get everybody off the ship!
You see, there's your problem. You replace the ship's engine with a swimming pool. Are these the only ones left out of the students?
We have to go.
Oh, wait! I left the others in the restaurant.
There is no more restaurant.
So why bother checking? We can't save them, then we'd have to give them lines and pay them higher salaries. And asking for a higher salary is the reason Tina isn't back in this film. You could tell me that this was filmed in Twin Peaks, and I'd have believed it, but oh no, there's muggers, so I guess that means New York. Her necklace gets taken, as if it's hard to find a Statue of Liberty necklace in New York. Rennie is kidnapped, and I bet you all wish you stayed on that sinking ship now, huh? Well, I guess in a way they kinda are.
Calm down, will you? You heard what he said? They'll kill her. We have to find the police.
Have you noticed yet that Charles is one of those characters that we're supposed to hate, but he's the only one who is constantly making sense?
But Sean said that we needed to drop the anchors.
I'm the one you should be listening to. Do you think dropping an anchor in the middle of a storm makes any sense whatsoever?
Yeah, why am I supposed to hate him again? And why the fuck isn't someone here to tell them that they're doomed? Oh, right. With this city being so big, I doubt Jason will find any of them. Huh. I guess New York is pretty small if you never leave the same block. Easiest joke in the whole episode. Meanwhile, Rennie is high as fuck and lost in New York. How is she ever gonna find... Oh, there's Sean. Why are they all split up? And Charles is the only one to actually get the cops. I'm rooting more and more for him as this film goes along. Unfortunately, the cop sticks around about as long as Julius's severed head does. Why couldn't there have been a scene of Jason dumpster diving for the head? But at least now they have a getaway car. You idiot! Oh no, Miss Van Dusen didn't make it out.
Van Dusen!
Well, that's nice. Jason victims, 17. Rennie victims, 1. I suppose we have time for a flashback, though. Not like there's a killer chasing them. Let's find out the origin of Rennie's fear of water. It has to do with Charles opting for tough love in teaching Rennie how to swim. And at this point in the timeline, shouldn't Jason still be chained down there from the ending of part 6? I guess this is the worst thing anyone in Crystal Lake has ever done. So they couldn't afford Madison Square Garden, but at least they got to film in the location for every Italian post-apocalyptic movie ever. Although I think those movies may be a little more realistic. Cue the city employee.
Can you help us get out of here?
Sure can, but we haven't got a minute to spare.
What do you mean?
Toxic waste, son. The sewer floods out with this stuff every night at midnight.
What? The sewer floods every... What? Why so specific? Whatever. But what he forgot to tell them is that every night at 11:45, slasher movie villains cave your skull in. Everyone knows this. Rennie soon remembers that Jason can be distracted like a cat who will instantly murder you afterwards. Thankfully, around every corner is a hot barrel of toxic waste. But if the sewer floods every night, why the fuck do they need to... Again, whatever. Just throw it in Jason's face. Now I feel sorry for him. He has kind eyes in this movie. So, a pen to the eye didn't hurt him, an axe to the head, multiple bullet wounds, etc. But his real kryptonite is the ooze. Oh yeah, and the flood of toxic waste to wash away the chuds. They all float down here, Jason, my boy. Since he's the god of electricity, the sky goes nuts, and originally they wanted Jason to dissolve in the toxic waste, but thought that that might write them into a corner for future installments. So, what did they use as their conclusion? makes sense. He's back to being a child now, as if he's the slasher movie version of Joshua Baskin. The hell kind of sense does that make? How does that not write you into a corner? Doesn't matter. Now Rennie and Sean can finally go see Black and Blue.
I hear there's a statue here that's 22 stories tall.
Everyone you know is dead. And the dog returns after probably hanging out with Muffin from part 2. And someone better get that kid out of the sewer before it floods again. If you want to find out how Jason made his way from New York to Crystal Lake, there is a comic book that connects the two movies. It's one page and it says he walked. Oh no, this lady made a huge mistake. She wants the set of the I Spit on Your Grave remake. That's all the way across the lake. This is actress stunt woman Julie Michaels, clearly put in the movie because Jason really wanted a regular Saturday night thing. I guess it's time for bed. Sure. It was important to take her clothes off. That summons Jason way earlier than expected. Once the nudity happened, Jason thought to himself, well, it's just one person. That's not as fun as a teen sex party, but I guess it'll do. But on the plus side, Jason Voorhees, your Camp Crystal Lake's 1 millionth visitor! Turns out this was an undercover agent who actually was luring the presence of Jason with her nudity. There could have been easier and less dangerous ways to find Jason, but would it have been as hilarious? Good job, assholes. Only took you about 30 fucking years. Excellent. Guess we can wrap all this up and go home. Can't say the title was a lie, I guess. Jason's body is taken to the nearest morgue all the way in Ohio. You may be wondering why this is happening. Look, it was either eat the heart or eat one of those McDonald's premium wraps. He made the right call. On the plus side, this is the far superior sequel to The Hidden. He could have just hopped into his own body. He's standing right outside the door.
Hey, fuck. How you doing, you fat-ass, maggoty, blown-up fuck?
The Jason I know totally would have let that guy go had he not insulted him. But Jason does not stand for name-calling.
Jason gonna be getting up and walking around anytime soon?
We really nailed that fucker.
Oh, you thought I was kidding? He was about to walk away until those guys insulted him. And trust me, they're way dead, as we see on the nightly snuff film hour. Hey kids, pull up a chair. It's dead bodies in prime time. There's only one person who can stop Jason, Shaft, or I mean Creighton Duke, played by Stephen Williams.
Jason Voorhees.
Well, that makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress, sticking a hot dog through a donut.
This is the greatest character the series has ever had! Host Robert Campbell is willing to pay Duke's bounty to bring in Jason. They need another dead body to show during sweeps. And like every town, the loss of a serial killer means big business. There's Jason sales, hockey mask burgers, and oh, Jason's sister is one of the waitresses. I'm sure this menu isn't awkward.
I'll take a Voorhees burger and a side of Jason fingers.
This is the greatest restaurant since Waco, Texas's all David Koresh themed restaurant. I'll take the garden salad with the ranch Davidian dressing. Steven is the top-billed hero of the film, and I like the fact that the geeky guy who would normally be killed in the second reel is given his time to shine. It makes me think that I would survive a slasher film. And since he knows he's gonna survive, it's okay to pick up hitchhikers.
Planning on smoking a little dope, having a little premarital sex, and getting slaughtered?
does that offend you? Here, have a Voorhees burger. Diana's daughter Jessica is currently estranged from Steven, and what's this? She's dating snuff film TV host Robert Campbell? Jason is after his own sister because the only way he can be reborn is through his own relatives. That is, if he can get a Brazilian wax first. You can always tell a Jason by their big black giraffe tongue. Steven's arrived in time, but there's no way they're gonna kill the sister. We just met her.
Oh my god, is this what I look like? I'm a fucking monster!
Clearly this means that Steven is the killer. Or he just gets arrested because he's rooting for the wrong sports team. Now to dive deep into the files of how the fuck does he know this?
The only way to kill Jason Voorhees is to destroy his heart. And there's only one person can do that now that Diana's dead. Her daughter.
Okay, just because you read that on Wikipedia doesn't mean it's true. This seems like an awful lot of trouble just to kill Jason. Why don't you just blow him up again? Only don't eat the heart this time. Sure, this is a sweet moment where Steven is seeing his baby for the first time, but is anyone on the news gonna run a eulogy for George Washington Duke? And now it's off to the Voorhees house. And it's fucking haunted! This place may have housed a serial killer, but they do have a kick-ass collection of Evil Dead memorabilia. Steven is interrupted by Bill O'Reilly with looks. Turns out he's dating Jessica simply so he can get a story, and I thought I could trust a man who shows fresh corpses on network television.
Well, last night, I stole Diana's body, and I hid it here in the closet. And then I went home and fucked her daughter.
I still like him better than Hannity. Steven finds the nearest woman taking a shower. It's sure to lure Jason. It's just a coincidence that it's also Jason's niece. His dying wish was to have his death broadcast on television. Now it's Steven's turn to tell the audience what's up.
It can't be bargained with, it can't be reasoned with, and it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.
And then they kill Jason and the movie ends. Sure, the cop could let him go, but he talked to Duke and he's gonna need to break 2 more fingers.
You want me to cuff you? What makes you think you can? I got a gun. Fuck that. I got a gun.
Stop having likable characters, movie. You're a 90s slasher film. All your characters are supposed to be insufferable. Jason beats the creeper by 2 minutes to stampede the police station. Where is our hero? Hell yes, I am badass in this movie. Jason's been waiting to practice this move. He was watching a lot of Three Stooges when he was in the cop's body. Unfortunately, the honeymoon killers won't let them near the baby, probably because it's tomorrow's breakfast special. Although it's about time Jason came by to try out his own burger. Damn, and they were gonna use her head as a champagne bottle when Jessica and Steven got remarried. As Steven marvels at how much more stylish this film is than the last entry, Jessica finds her baby at the Voorhees house with Dukamite.
You don't need me for that.
Yes. I do.
That doesn't belong in a Friday the 13th movie. A Carrie White ripoff who hangs Jason with an electrical cord with her mind. Now that belongs in a Friday the 13th film. Duke's obsession makes a lot more sense when you realize that in a previous draft, he vowed to destroy Jason after Jason killed his girlfriend. That adds to the character. Best leave it out. Here's an exclusive clip.
I'm gonna catch that sucker.
We got a pretty badass design for Jason. Might as well have him come back for the remaining minutes of the movie. They spent all their money on the special effects, but none on the fake baby budget. Hurry, you better get that to the American Sniper set as soon as you're finished. Duke, don't fail me now.
Son of a bitch. You remember me?
That line would have been much more meaningful if you kept in his backstory. Don't worry about Duke. He actually faked his death so he could open up links. But whatever, send him to hell or something. Huh. I guess Wikipedia was right. Good, now just don't eat the heart this time. And destroy his mask while you're at it. Apparently that can possess people too. Oh sure, start punching the man once he's already defeated. Admittedly, that is what I would do too. Wait, he's going to heaven? He did find Jesus after all! Just kidding. He's getting pulled down to the set of the latest Estes Perkle movie. So, hell exists. I guess we better turn our lives around immediately. And they're off to break the news to Creighton Duke's sister, Foxy Brown. This series has gone way too far. Go back to being a grounded series about a mother avenging the death of her son, who later comes back to kill teenagers all on his own, and then he's killed, and is brought back to life after being struck by lightning, and then fights a girl with telekinetic powers, and then boards a ship to New York where he melts back down into being a kid, and then comes back as a body snatcher. I've already watched Jason Goes to Hell. All of this is apparently going on inside of Jason's head? Why does his brain consist of a 9 Inch Nails music video? And who knew there were tiny men living inside of Jason? The body snatcher worm is one thing, but think about these unpaid employees. Jason is being held at the Crystal Lake Research Facility? What the fuck? Let's base Area 51 in Haddonfield while we're at it. Jason has been held here so long he's growing some prison hair. Too bad his mask is covering his prison beard. Speaking of, it's nice they gave him a fresh new mask. The previous one was getting a little ratty. His shifty eyes make me think that Jason is not one to be trusted. So, how about instead of insulting his looks, you just blow him up again? Only don't eat the heart this time. Dr. Wimmer has other plans, though.
What are you doing here?
I'm taking the specimen.
Holy shit, it's David Lynch! Jason is to be transferred, most likely to the Camp Arawak research facility. Lexadoig's Rowan wants him destroyed, while Wimmer wants testing done to find out just how he's regenerating. Fair point. Let's see how that goes. That death was totally Cronin Hitchcockian. Serves you right for keeping his machete in the research facility with him. No, don't put him in there. That's where we keep our processed meats. He's gonna spoil. It's 400 plus years in the future. Earth has been abandoned, except for student research expeditions. I'm not making any of this up. And apparently this research facility was so little known that no one ever stumbled upon it until centuries later, after the Earth was completely abandoned. Should have put him in the Springwood research facility.
Anyone thinking what I'm thinking?
Ooh, free Tyson chicken nuggets! Hell yes! Oh, you're not a chicken nugget. Leave her here, folks. We've already got one actress from Andromeda. We don't need two. Although this is a much better Andromeda cast film. Only the brightest students get to go on these field trips. Idiot! These crew members seem like they should be around students as much as baby Huey.
We found 2 bodies in deep cryostasis. The KM unit thinks we can resuscitate the female.
Female? She's cute. Yeah. And single.
Don't molest the frozen women. I guess the opening scene was taking place in 2000, even though the Friday the 13th timeline is so stretched out, it would be the 25th century by this point. Professor Voice of Link wants to sell Jason to the highest bidder. Move over, Nika Toys. Icicle Jason is way better. Now for some backstory on Jason, as if you need to tell me that.
We tried everything. Electrocution, gas, firing squad. We even hung him once. Nothing worked.
Again, blow him up and don't eat the heart.
Attention, space students. We got a Jason on board. Stop with the fucking unless you want to be killed. He hates fucking.
That guy wanted to be killed. The sex was that good. Good one, assholes. You put 1,000 bullets in Jason, and it did nothing but kill all the weed. How else are we supposed to watch Jason X? This crew of soldiers has everyone. Creighton Duke X, Starbuck X, Michelle Rodriguez X. That guy X. Maybe next time they'll think twice about taking field trips to abandoned planets. This is actually unrelated. She made the mistake of trying to shave while tripping over a spare machete. Make this son of a bitch pay! I bet that worked. Oh no, that didn't work. Annie turned him into Rhodes from Day of the Dead. At least the ship now has an excellent haunted house ride. Again, I've seen how clumsy these people can be. That could have been an accident. This is a movie made up of people who think Jason can be bargained with, can be reasoned with, and can feel pain.
Guys! It's okay, he just wanted his machete back!
Thanks, Professor, for leaving us with a trailer line. It's okay, folks. I'm sure in the future we can blast away from a ship without unhooking first. Still better than Enterprise. Remember the powerful Mrs. Voorhees monologue about losing her son and her mind? Suck on that! Android versus zombie Jason, bitch! Too bad you didn't try this out when you were attempting every death penalty method. Great. Now just don't eat his heart. I suppose someone needs to sacrifice themselves so that Jason can be mildly inconvenienced. Perhaps you shouldn't have made the ship's walls out of tinfoil.
Don't let go! Grab her head! Reach out! Reach for it! No! Come on! I can't! Jump! Jump, damn it, jump! Come on!
Oh, the scene doesn't get that cheesy.
Oh, this sucks on so many levels!
It's the line that dared all of the negative reviews to use that quote, and they all took the bait. "30 seconds into the movie and already the demonic toys lose. In the earlier Freddy movies, it always addressed Freddy as a child murderer, but really only hinting at whether or not he was a child molester. In this film, though? Oh no, he did that shit. Plus, he's a filthy smoker! In this flashback of Freddy getting killed, I don't see John Saxon anywhere in this group. Justice for Saxon! And I already know who Freddy is.
But after they killed me, I became something much worse.
And with expensive contact lenses. Hell, why explain the previous films when we can just show them?
And that's when the fun really began.
Too scared to show what you did to Grady, huh, asshole? And here's clips from some of the other Friday the 13ths. The gist here is that Freddy, while in hell, is frustrated because the people of Springwood have forgotten about him, which is a serious problem. How in the hell do you forget someone who killed so many kids that at one point it rendered the town completely childless and caused Roseanne to go insane? No worse than the creeps in this house.
Babe, you know I don't like to be touched after, okay?
Your back door was open.
Freddy and Jason aren't the main threats of this film. The tag team of Rapey McGee and Strangly McHooker fetish are. And let's not forget about the real deathbed. And no one was date raped in Springwood ever again. Look, guys, I was in Scary Movie. I know a silly crime when I see one. Meanwhile, at the insane asylum, all those Uva Ball Rampage films put Brendan Fletcher right in the loony bin. Oh, and Jason Ritter plays Laurie's love interest, Will. Something's not right here.
You're the one that told the cops Laurie's dad killed his wife. Yeah, right, and now it looks like someone else got killed in the same house. You think that's a coincidence? 2 murders in one house?
Someone hasn't seen an Amityville movie. Or an Elm Street movie. I guess they could play some games, but fuck it, escaping is a better idea, especially before this happens. I guess this isn't the only guy who likes to drug people's juice. This has the whole school on edge.
Shit! This is bullshit! The police are blaming everything on Blake like it's some kind of Columbine thing or something. They're saying he went crazy.
Crushed by mattress, just like Columbine. The hell kind of school is this?
You're singing like this song like...
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Can we get Rampage Guy out of here? Maybe Kelly Rowland was right to bring up Columbine. Oh, and I think this episode could also count as an Ant-Man and the Wasp tie-in. How is this school so easy for escaped mental patients to walk into? This is what happens when your teacher is Robert Shea. He's gonna stock your school with Freddy vs. Jason actors. Stupid Linderman trying to out-creepy a child murderer. Young Clay Walsh is obsessed. Why, I'm just drunk enough to follow the severed head of my boyfriend into this boiler room silo. Apparently, killing Rapey McGee didn't keep the town safe. I didn't count on the fact that this entire town is made up of offspring from my spit on your grave. I'm on Team Jason now. He stopped a rapist. Officer Lachlan Monroe doesn't know who Freddy is simply because he's not from Springwood. Makes sense. No one outside of Cook County knows who Gacy is. Oh, and Springwood is now Wayward Pines. Why don't you go hang out with the kids? They need to be told who Jason is because they're not from Crystal Lake.
Now, this Jason Voorhees supposedly drowned at Camp Crystal Lake back in 1957 when he was 11 years old. And the counselors weren't watching him.
No. You're supposed to start out with the 1979 film Friday the 13th, The Orphan. Everyone knows this. These kids either know too little or too much.
I mean, what if Freddy brought Jason back? Because he was too weak to go after us on his own, so he used Jason.
I'd say you're friends with a screenwriter. And quit saying his name and falling asleep.
Your eyes say no. But my mouth says yes.
That's the town's motto. Sure, I could be watching Freddy and Jason fight, but this plot about a drug called Hypnosil that stops dreams, that's what I'm here for. Richard Kimball's wife was killed over this drug. Hey, the hospital was easy to break out of, and goddammit, it's easy to break into as well. Officer Lachlan Monroe may be dead, but on the plus side, Mark Paul Gosselaar now has straight A's. Bars on the windows aren't going to stop this Jason from the trademark throwing someone through glass. Oh, right, the teenagers.
Why go all the way to Crystal Lake?
Best case scenario, Jason wins. He'll already be home, back where he belongs.
Yeah, where he can kill the people of Crystal Lake. Fuck those people. Freddy must have used toxic waste from the New York sewers to turn Jason back into a child. With their own stupidity, if they were just flying solo in this movie, I still think they'd manage to find a way to kill themselves. Just make up a reason to kill Freddy. It worked in the other movies. And as far as Jason goes, if you really wanted to possess him, you should have just eaten his heart. There's a Bollywood Friday the 13th? Of course there is! I told you already, we're a VCD family! This scene is too hot for the guy in the background, so he casually puts on his shades. That way he can look like a badass when he takes them off when talking to her. She needs a ride, so he'll be the truck driver. Too bad they couldn't stay longer. Paul's has the best in Galatians food. This is all really familiar. Ah, crazier Ralph 4. Should have seen you coming. The fake subtitles don't even need to be put in. I'm sure that they're all doomed and the hotel is cursed. And he stole Mickey Mouse's gloves. See you later on in the pantry, Ralph 4. Bye. That is, if they make it there. Should he really be driving with the blurred out production logo over his eyes? This is like if the truck driver in the original tried way harder to bang Annie. Let's go to Happy Home. If something bad happens here, we can sue them for false advertising. Shit, you're in danger. The You're Doomed gang is all here. Thank God Charles Bronson saves her from Bollywood nail gun massacre. Just another clip from the classic sequel, Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Miami Connection. Ooh, I am riveted. Just because you don't know what's going on doesn't mean that it's not still the greatest thing ever. Wait, what? Is he going to prison? Ooh, it's like if the O.J. Simpson trial actually did have the dancing Edos in it. It's no he's guilty from Cop Rock, but it'll do the trick, at least for the time being, because this scene isn't even done yet. Even though I had 12 seizures watching this trial, it's still the most exciting episode of the People's Court that I've ever seen. Harsh! They spared no expense in dancing or stunt work. No need for the slasher killer to pick them off. I think they're doing a good enough job getting themselves killed. The motorcycle's gonna get it too, since it's also having premarital sex. Okay, graphic. This is what happens when you don't have Officer Dorf around to say, we don't stand for no weirdness around here. We don't care if you injure your knee. This may be an unlucky day, but we're gonna force this musical on you, or else we'll cut to the chef from Sleepaway Camp. This movie needs an adult, or at least an Angela with a big pot of boiling water. And shouldn't Crazier Ralph 4 be in their pantry at this point? Wow, so many new revelations are happening. Oh. I'm not so sure I would care about this, even if I did know what they're saying. Okay, maybe I care a little. Shocker, the inspector does not trust the convict. Well, that seemed unnecessary. I would ask myself how there's still 50 minutes of this movie left, but I think this sequence and all of them like it answer that question. They've been going on for 12 hours. Do we ask them to stop? Oh no, we join in. Even if Crash Zoom McGreatface ends everyone's good time, still better than the horror movie going on outside. I sure hope that's the ninja that I asked for earlier. Speaking of conversations, welcome to the next act of the movie. Oh great, he's gonna make out with someone passed out, isn't he? Thankfully his dance moves may wake them up. This sequence goes on so long that I'm surprised this isn't a 3-hour movie. I think they start killing each other just so something happens. And the crowd goes wild, seriously. I'm not sure if those people were really there. But I know at least one thing about the killer. He's really damn rude! Gee, after hearing that strange sound, maybe you shouldn't go up to the stormy-ass rooftop to investigate. Stay inside and raid Steve Christie's wardrobe like this guy. Lord, there's 30 minutes of dance for every 1 minute of plot. Here you go, one whole Jägermeister to yourself. This'll make the rest go by quick. With the movie now being shot in drunk vision, even the people behind the camera are wasted. And stop going to the roof when you need help. A great idea. If you see blood in the sink, go to the highest place you could think of, all while fighting off the paparazzi. Oh no, who's gonna sing about it? Great, I guess I'll take over as the resident drunk guy. Anyway, stop going outside when you hear a calling for your own untimely death. Wait, so is this guy the killer? I don't know. He's kinda acting like it.
जो भी फैसला होगा उससे छुटकारा पाने के सिर्फ 2 तरीके हैं।
I think I'm following this now. Never too late for a new character, though, even if she's confusing this for Bollywood Times at the El Royale. Wait a minute. Hang on. This is a lot like Friday the 13th.
मेरे पति की आत्मा प्रवेश कर गई। हर प्यार करने वाले नौजवान को मैं उसका हुक्म मानती रही और मैं
I get it, clever. So yes, that is our killer, and yes, it has to do with revenge for a drowning. Although, I have never seen Jason Voorhees' death as a child be portrayed so hilariously.
Help me, please! For God's sake, help me! Please, bachao, bachao, help me, please, God's sake, help me!
Sure, he may have died, but don't be too upset about it, Mrs. Voorhees. At least we got a great laugh out of it. How does the longer version simultaneously feel like the Cliff Notes version? Sorry, ma'am. Not only did we not find a boy, but we also don't see a sequel anywhere in sight. So that means you won't be killed at the beginning of the second film. Well, that movie was exhausting. Of course there's one! In this movie, I don't even know if Jason is the creepiest thing in it.
Uncle Lou, where do you keep the Christmas dishes?
Third cabinet on the right.
Uncle Lou definitely has sex with the dishes. Just look at that death stare. We all knew Freddy vs. Jason was coming, but no one ever even considered the threat of Uncle Lou.
Should have been here an hour ago.
I'm sure she'll be here soon. You know how traffic is on Christmas Eve?
Right, they're gonna be stuck in this traffic for hours. Here's your problem, your family cut through Camp Blood first. Maybe that seemed more pleasant than hanging out with Uncle Lou.
It must be really nice your daughter's coming to spend Christmas with you this year. Are you excited?
Yeah.
The only thing that excites Uncle Lou is slowly brushing his poodles for 3 straight hours. Is he staring out a window or is he staring at her? Neither is more creepy than the other. Okay, if his daughter Rose is out here alone, nothing good will come of it. There would be no good reason for her to be alone out here, unless she's being stalked by a killer, in which case you should call the police. Damn, the one time they get a signal in a slasher film and no one picks up. Best go for take 2. Good thing she was only 50 feet from the house, and if you ask me, Jason's mask is far too clean. Yeah, you got the axe cut in the head, but it needs to have suffered fire damage, lake damage, electrical burns, and toxic waste burns. Call Uncle Lou instead, he's better than the police.
I can't, he's gonna see me.
Get up and run away right now!
Yeah, get out of there before Uncle Lou will be forced to move an inch.
Uncle Lou, she's dead.
Are you sure?
I can tell you were close. Uncle Lou has trouble getting close to anything that isn't a bucket of cigarette butts. Best go outside and get some air, not like there's a damn killer outside.
You got her. We're even.
Ooh, a twist! Sure. I don't think Uncle Lou here is on the up and up. Clearly he summoned paramedic Roy to kill his daughter.
Your very own swimsuit.
Of all people who should know that Jason isn't a good swimmer. She even wants to send him to summer camp. It's like she wants him to die so she can fulfill her fantasy of killing off frolicking teenagers. I don't know how to say this, but I don't trust Pamela Voorhees.
I have an idea. Maybe Mommy can come with you. Maybe I can get a job at the camp.
When Aunt Martha from Sleepaway Camp is the more trustworthy authority figure, you know the stepfather is just waiting around the corner, dying to build you a bird feeder.
Was the whole police department off tonight?
It's Christmas.
Don't they have any Jewish cops?
Present day, though, this could be today, or at this point in the series, it could also be the year 3286. Where's our campers?
I am more afraid to be eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Ooh, hey, you wanna slap that ass one more time for Daddy?
Great, leftover campers from a 70s Sasquatch porno. And don't worry if you weren't paying attention in the opening, it explains it all again.
Some woman, she went fucking nuts, killed all these counselors. Blame them for her son's drowning. He was...
Yes, thank you. I've seen To All a Good Night. Oh, never mind. The movie is still going. Props for 6 weeks later. If this were a 2020 movie, it'd say 6 weeks earlier. But here we meet Clay, who is searching for his sister because his plot is sort of a remake of Rob's sister avenging plot from the final chapter. I joke, but he's the only one in the movie who isn't a dick.
Are you gonna buy something? I mean, you've been up here for quite a while yapping, so... It's not me. This guy's being a dick.
Yeah, it's me, obviously.
Clay is hands down the only likable character in this film. All he's doing is looking for his sister, but the cops nearly run him out of town as if they think this is a CW version of First Blood. Can we stay with Clay here instead of the frat jackasses? Anyway, remake Ethel from Part 5 has some good news.
Jane missing. She's dead. People go missing around here. They're gone for good.
Then maybe you should move. That's weird. These don't seem like the type of young people to play drinking games. Why would it not surprise me if the name of their fraternity is Pi Kappa Roofie?
You know what, it's getting, no, that's okay, it's...
Clay is busy, though, meeting another local rapper, Lil Kevin from It's Always Sunny.
Fucking lucky there, Stretch. Came about that close to hitting the start button on a whoop-ass machine, boy.
He's dropping beats like he's pounding a sleeping bag against a tree. I'm sure that MP Crystal Lake can help. She's the best military cop in the woods. Well, there's something I never thought I'd see in a Friday the 13th movie. Jason turning on the power. Maybe now Trent can finally die. No, Trent, not the girlfriend. And stop posing for a duck-face selfie. Ah, cops, this'll work out. I think he's late because he was at a town hall meeting to vote whether or not to change the name of the town to Forest Green. Jason is definitely voting to keep it as Crystal Lake. Let's not kill him too hard, though. We need him resurrectable, just in case we can make a sequel.
Say hi to Mommy. In hell!
Jason's already been to hell, and the only thing he found was a burnt pedophile with a dirty red and green sweater.